everyone. My name is Alana McDonald, and I am Assistant Director in the Office of Financial Aid. Welcome to Southern Miss. Hopefully, you have already viewed our Financial Aid 101 presentation, which gives a brief overview of the different forms of assistance to help with your college expenses. The following slides will provide tips to assist you with college financial planning. The Office of Financial Aid has developed a cost sheet, which is an estimation of semester costs to help you understand the possible direct and indirect expenses associated with attending Southern Miss. It is only generated for students during their first semester of enrollment. This is not your student bill. It is a tool to help budget for possible college expenses. Here is a sample cost sheet that is intended for estimation purposes only. Section 1 at the top will show you the amount of financial aid you have been offered. This may include federal aid, state aid, institutional aid, alternative loans, and/or outside scholarships. The amounts listed will only be for the fall 2020 semester. The offer amounts are based on full-time enrollment status. If you were offered federal work study, these funds will not be included in Section 1 as they are paid directly to the student as employment earnings during the semester. Section 2 shows you an estimate of your direct costs based on your program of study for the semester. Tuition is based on full-time enrollment status, 12 to 19 credits. If you are not a Mississippi resident, the non-resident fee will be assessed. Course fees and textbook costs, textbooks estimated at $700 per semester, are an estimated average based on your program of study. A parking permit is required for students with personal vehicles who will be utilizing campus parking. Residence hall and meal plan expenses will be charged in relation to your preference selected on your housing application. Residence hall and meal plan pricing is found on page 2 of the cost sheet. The total direct costs, line A through F, are expenses that may be due to Southern Miss. Be aware that you may incur additional expenses, also known as indirect costs, during the semester. These are expenses such as travel, personal, and other miscellaneous expenses. Section 3 at the bottom will help you calculate if you have enough financial aid to cover your direct costs, or if you will still owe money to the university. A negative number indicates the estimation of a potential refund, and a positive amount indicates you will owe the university after financial aid has been applied. Under Other Sources of Aid, you will see a dollar amount next to Federal College Work Study, $2,000 in this example, if it has been offered. It is not included in Section 1 of the cost sheet because it is money that must be earned throughout the semester and is not applied to student expenses up front. After Section 3 of your cost sheet, there are special award messages that may appear in relation to the offers you have in Section 1. Make sure you read these closely as certain offers have specific enrollment and eligibility requirements. Next, there are subsequent steps you must follow to assure your offers are processed in a timely manner. Last, be sure to stay up to date on requirements and payment deadlines. Now let's take a look at a few student examples. Here is student example 1. In Section 1, the student has $10,201 in aid. Section 2's direct costs of $5,527 leaves the student with an estimated refund of $4,674 in Section 3. This student would need to designate refund preferences, which will be discussed later in this presentation. Depending on the offers in Section 1 of the cost sheet, this student has various award messages. Award messages are important because they explain certain requirements for each particular offer. The first message is specific to subsidized, unsubsidized, and Parent Plus loans. If a student was not offered one of these loans, this award message would not appear for them. It is important to note that if you have an award message for federal work study, this offer is not included in Section 1 of the cost sheet because it is money that must be earned throughout the semester and is not applied to student expenses up front. Some offers have specific enrollment or acceptance requirements, which is why it is important to read them. Here is student example 2. In Section 1, the student has $5,500 in aid. Section 2's direct cost of $5,408 leaves the student with an estimated refund of $92 in Section 3. This student would also need to designate refund preferences, which will be discussed later in this presentation. These are the award messages for Example 2. A new one we see here is the State of Mississippi Aid message. More information about State of Mississippi Aid can be found at the given link. Here is student example 3. In section 1, the student has $6,173 in aid. Section 2's direct costs of $11,109 leaves the student with a balance still owed to the university of $4,936 in section 3. This student would be required to meet all stated payment policies set by business services, which will be discussed next. This student's award messages are ones we have already seen in previous examples for loans and the Pell Grant. The cost sheet is a great tool for estimating your possible out-of-pocket expenses. If additional funding is needed, there are options available such as a Parent Plus loan for dependent students or an alternative private loan for dependent or independent students. Navigating the financial aid process can be overwhelming at first, but we are always here to help. Business Services will now explain the payment policy and student account information.
Now that you have heard from our financial aid office and have discussed a few financial possibilities, we will discuss your student account, how it looks in Soar, and what to do with the remaining out-of-pocket portion of your balance. I am Daphne Roberts from Business Services. My goal is to try to make this part of your journey a tad easier. USM's Fall 2020 payment due date is August 10th. Our office will produce the first fall invoice by July 15th. If a student is enrolled in fall classes at that time, they will receive email notification of this invoice. If a student is not enrolled, an official invoice will not be viewable in Soar. A student who enrolls after July 15th will be able to view their total due on the student account tile on the home page of Soar once they are enrolled. This total due takes into consideration any pending financial aid, which will not actually disperse until after the drop date for each semester. Students who have a balance after the financial aid is calculated can choose one of the two options to fulfill the fall payment due date of August 10th. Full payment of the out-of-pocket student balance can be made by this deadline, or the student can enroll in the installment payment plan by this deadline. The first of the 4 payments is due when the student enrolls in the payment plan. There is a $50 enrollment fee charged at the time of the setup. Once these payment requirements have been met, a student will be allowed to charge books at the on-campus bookstore. As I previously mentioned, pending financial aid is taken into consideration when meeting the payment requirements for the upcoming semester, except for in the following 2 cases. Federal financial aid awarded for the current semester cannot be used to satisfy a prior term balance due to regulations on these funds. Work study funds are paid directly to the student as the student earns hourly wages, therefore these funds will not be sitting in pending aid. When you are looking at the charges listed on your student account tile in Soar, these may be some of the typical charges you might see. Tuition, housing and meal plan if the student is living on campus, possible course fees, parking permit, or parking fines if you didn't purchase that permit, textbooks and other bookstore charges, clinic charges if you visit the on-campus clinic, library fines, and a student ID charge for your first semester. We encourage all students to charge responsibly. There is a credit limit at the bookstore to try to keep this to a minimum, but charging can still get out of hand. We know it's convenient to swipe your ID for a Coke and a Scantron, or maybe a t-shirt to wear to the football game. But please keep in mind these charges will ultimately be billed back to the student and will require payment in full by the end of each semester. On-campus fines can add up quickly and become quite expensive. These fines are usually completely avoidable by paying attention to the following: returning library books in a timely manner, purchasing a parking permit at the beginning of the academic year, and always parking in the correct parking zones. I know this slide can be a bit overwhelming, but let's take these billing and finance charges line by line. When a new invoice is available in Soar, an email notification will be sent to the student's USM email address, along with any parent or authorized user's email listed in Soar. USM generates monthly bills with a due date on the 10th of the following month. A monthly late fee of 1.5% of the unpaid balance will be assessed for any remaining balance after the second month of each term. For fall, this late fee is first assessed after October 10th. Students will not be able to pre-register for an upcoming term nor request transcripts from USM with an outstanding balance. When a student enrolls in the installment plan administered by CashNet, USM will not produce invoices for the student. They will receive all payment reminders through CashNet as long as they are still enrolled in the payment plan for the current semester. Here you see what the home page of Soar looks like for our students. The tile highlighted in red is the Parent Guardian Access tile. A student can grant access to an authorized user by clicking this tile. This will allow a parent or guardian access to be able to view charges and make payments online through Soar with their own login information. Speaking of making payments online, all debit and credit card payments must be made online through Soar, as we do not accept card payments in our office. You can also pay online using the electronic check option, which acts as an ACH bank transfer. You can do so by clicking either the two tiles highlighted in red, the Make a Payment tile, or you can click on the Student Account tile to see what you are paying first. Please keep in mind, these links do direct you to our payment site, CashNet. If this link does not fully load, please check your pop-up blockers before trying the link again. If a student clicks on the Student Account tile in Soar, the next screen will look like this, and it shows the charges and credits which make up the total due at the bottom for each semester. This total due is the student's out-of-pocket portion owed after pending financial aid has been taken into consideration. If a student has a prepaid tuition plan, such as Impact, our office will need this information. Please send the student's name, ID number, and a copy of the plan card to business.services@usm.edu for our office to add the student to our billing list. As previously mentioned by the Financial Aid Department, refunds may be generated from excess financial aid or various campus credits. We will begin processing refunds for each semester after the drop date. USM processes all student refunds through Bank Mobile. New students will receive a refund selection kit in the mail closer to the beginning of the semester. This kit will contain a personal code. Students can use this code to set up one of the two refund preferences: direct deposit into an existing bank account or direct deposit into a Bank Mobile Vibe account. Bank Mobile will then send out a Go Gold debit card once this account has been set up. Unfortunately, there are cases where a student can end up with an account balance after receiving a refund from financial aid. This can happen if expenses such as clinic visits, bookstore charges, and parking fines are charged after refunds are processed in Soar. Students must pay these charges out of pocket since the excess from their financial aid and/or scholarships have already been refunded at this point. We always encourage students to be responsible with any refund money. These funds are to be used for the furthering of a student's education. Here, you can see a list of upcoming deadlines I would like to make sure you all are aware of. July 1st is the deadline for completion of the 2020-2021 FAFSA, along with submission of any required documentation. Now, this doesn't mean FAFSA submitted after that date will not be accepted, but late submissions may not be calculated and considered towards your fall 2020 payment requirements. Business Services will generate the first fall invoice on July 15th. Please keep in mind, if a student enrolls after July 15th, they will not see an official fall invoice since the invoice process has already been run. However, a student can view the total due for any semester at any time on the student account tile on the home page of Soar. This total is continuously updated, unlike the invoice totals. Therefore, the student account tile is a good source to use throughout the semester. August 10th is the fall 2020 payment deadline. Students must pay their out-of-pocket balance or have enrolled in the payment plan with the first payment due upon enrollment by this date. Fall classes are set to begin on Monday, August 17th. The last day to drop fall classes or withdraw and receive financial credit is August 24th. Now that we have discussed student accounts, account balances, and payment deadlines, I figured you may be asking, what is the best way to pay these charges? Most students and parents prefer to make payments online. This can be done easily through Soar, as we discussed in a previous slide. If you choose to pay with a debit or credit card, CashNet does charge a 2.75% convenience fee. Paying with an e-check eliminates this fee. Payments can be mailed to USM Business Services at 118 College Drive, number 5133, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, 39406. Please be sure to note the student's name and ID number when mailing payments to help us confirm we are applying the payment to the correct account. We accept cash, check, or money order payments on the Hattiesburg campus in Forest County Hall. On the Guff Park campus, payments in the form of check or money order can be made at Student Services One Stop, found in Hardy Hall. USM also offers an installment payment plan for current term balances. The first of 4 payments is due upon enrollment, which is required by August 10th. There is a $50 enrollment fee for participating in this installment plan. The remaining payments will be due on September 10th, October 10th, and November 10th. It is crucial for students to keep their contact information in Soar current. This is the only way we can reach a student if necessary. Student information can be updated through Soar. I know we have covered a lot of information today. This may be the first time some of you have dealt with college finances at all. We are here to help. Please don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. One of the best ways to reach Business Services is through our email address, which is business.services@usm.edu. This email box is monitored closely, and we will do everything we can to answer your questions. I try to keep most of the information covered today updated on our website as well. You can find us by going to usm.edu/business-services or usm.edu, scroll to the bottom, find the A to Z link, and locate Business Services. I appreciate you guys allowing me to have a piece of your time today. I hope I was able to provide you with a little more information and help you transition to life as a Golden Eagle. And as we like to say here, Southern Miss to the top.